Hi, it's Kieran at Learn Science Together, and today we're looking at cell structure. By the end of the session, you should be able to label parts of an animal, plant and bacterial cell, describe the functions and parts of the cells, and make comparisons between the cells. First bit of knowledge, animal cell. So this part is our nucleus. The nucleus contains genetic material which controls the activities of the cell. So all the DNA in the form of chromosomes will be located in the nucleus. Then we've got this bit which appears as the background of the cell, and this is where most chemical processes take place. Then we've got the cell membrane. This is all around the outside of the cell, and the cell membrane controls the movement of substances into and out of the cell. Then we've got the ribosome. Now we can see there the ribosome is where protein synthesis takes place, otherwise we can call it where proteins are made. And then we've got mitochondria. Now the mitochondria is where respiration takes place and energy is released there. All 5 of those parts of the animal cell you need to be familiar with. You need to be able to label them in a diagram and describe their functions. Now these parts are found in both animal and plant cells. So now we'll be looking at a plant cell. So this plant cell has the 5 parts we've just labelled, so we're going to go through those. We've got nucleus, cytoplasm, cell membrane, ribosome, and mitochondria. The other 3 parts we're going to label on the right now, they are only found in a plant cell, but not an animal cell. So at the top, we've got a permanent vacuole. Permanent vacuole is filled with cell sap, and it helps keep the cell turgid. This is a cell wall. Now in a cell wall, the cell wall is made of cellulose, and that strengthens the cell. Then we've got the chloroplast at the bottom. It may be helpful to colour that in, just to remind ourselves that chloroplasts are green because they contain a green pigment called chlorophyll. Now, it is this chlorophyll that absorbs the light energy for photosynthesis to take place. And photosynthesis is how plants make their own food. Finally, we're looking at a bacterial cell. So we're going to label the parts which are found in the others as well. So we have got here, if we just say this one's the outside part, and this is the inside part, it's not very clear there. We have got our cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasm. These 3 are found in other parts as well. Now note the cell wall, that is not made of cellulose. So the cell walls between a plant and bacterial cell are made of different substances. And then we've got these other 2 parts that are orange here. So this is a plasmid DNA, sometimes plasmid DNA ring, we'll call it. And this is a loop of DNA, so we can just call it DNA loop. So the DNA loop is a loop of DNA, and it's not found in a nucleus. So that's a key difference you can see already between the animal, plant and bacterial cell, that the bacterial cell has no nucleus, whereas animal and plant cells have a nucleus. So bacterial cell is also known as a prokaryotic cell. So I'm going to introduce that term now. Prokaryotic. It's got no nucleus. But if we look at the other two and go back, the others have got a nucleus. So animal and plant cells are known as eukaryotic cells. Okay. The plasmid DNA ring is a small ring of DNA. So the DNA is not structured in the form of chromosomes like they are in animal cells. They're structured as plasmid DNA and DNA loops. Just a note here on eukaryotic cells then. Eukaryotic cells are cells with a nucleus. Okay, so cells with a nucleus. And then I could put here like an animal cell or a plant cell. So just to quickly go over them, these are the two cells we've gone through at the start, animal and plant cell. All of those in the middle are parts of the cell that both animal and plant cells have. But a common exam question is to name 3 parts of a plant cell that are not found in an animal cell, which is where you would write one of these 3. So permanent vacuole, cell wall, or chloroplast. Those are the 3 parts only found in a plant cell. And then we've got our bacterial cell. Common differences between a bacterial cell and an animal and plant cell is that the cell wall that is not made of cellulose and as you can see there is no nucleus, so the DNA is just as a loop or as a ring which we call plasmid DNA ring. That is a summary there of the key functions of the different parts of the cells that we've got over. I'm just going to make some quick comparisons. So nucleus found in animal and plant cells, but not in a bacterial cell. Cell membrane found in all of the cells. Cytoplasm in all of the cells. Mitochondria in animal and plant cells. Ribosomes in animal and plant cells. Chloroplast only in plant cell, because only plants will carry out photosynthesis. Animal cells and most bacterial cells do not. Cell wall found in plant cells which are made of cellulose, and in bacterial cells where it's not made of cellulose. Permanent vacuole in a plant cell, and then the DNA loop and plasmid DNA are only found in bacterial cells. So now we're going to look at some application. I'm going to apply our understanding to some questions. So first of all, I would like you to label the parts of an animal and plant cell. Pause the video to give this a go, and then play once you're ready to go through the answers. So first of all here we have got the nucleus, then cytoplasm, cell membrane, ribosome, mitochondria, and the cell on the left is an animal cell. On the right we have our plant cell, which contains these 3 parts. So it's got the permanent vacuole, cell wall, and chloroplast. Now, can you label parts of a bacterial cell? Pause the video to give this a go, and then play when you're ready to go through the answers. We've got cytoplasm, now this is referring to the inside one. We have this one as the outside one. So we've got here cell membrane, cell wall, DNA loop, and say plasmid DNA. And sometimes we have plasmid DNA ring, and this is a bacterial cell. Now, can you match the structure to its function? Pause to give it a go, and then play when you're ready to go through the answers. So if we look at the first one then, ribosomes are here where protein synthesis happens. So we can match that to F, 1 to F. Number 2, mitochondria, most energy is released by respiration here, so 2C. 3, cell membrane, controls the movement of substances into and out of the cell, so 3 match to B. 4, chloroplast. Chloroplast contains chlorophyll, which absorbs light energy for photosynthesis. 4, you should match to G. Permanent vacuole, fill the cell sap to help keep the cell turgid, so 5 to E. 6, nucleus, contains genetic material that controls the activities of the cell, so you should have matched 6 to A. And number 7, cell wall, strengthens the cell, made of cellulose in a plant cell, and in a bacterial cell it's not made of cellulose. That's what you should have had. Next task then is for you to tick the cell structures and where they're found. So tick where they are found in an animal, plant or bacterial cell. Pause the video to give it a go, and then play when you're ready to go through the answers. Nucleus is found in an animal and plant cell. Cell membrane in all 3. Cytoplasm in all 3. Mitochondria and ribosomes are found in animal and plant cells. Chloroplast is where photosynthesis happens, that's just found in a plant cell. Cell wall, found in plant and bacterial cells, but in a plant cell it's just made of cellulose. Permanent vacuole in a plant cell. And DNA loop and plasmid DNA are found in bacterial cells only. Now, can you complete the sentences with the missing words? Pause the video to give it a go and press play when you're ready to go through the answers. First one, the cell wall contains, and you should have had here, cellulose. Number 2, the cell wall strengthens the cell. 3, ribosomes are where proteins are made. 4, permanent vacuole is filled with cell sap to keep the cell turgid. And chloroplasts contain chlorophyll. Final task. For each statement, state whether it is true or false. Pause the video to give it a go and press play when you're ready to go through the answers. Number 1. Photosynthesis happens in chloroplasts. True. 2. Ribosomes are where aerobic respiration takes place. False. It is false because ribosomes are where proteins are made. Mitochondria is where aerobic respiration takes place. Both plant and bacterial cells have cell walls made of cellulose. That is false because, like we mentioned, plant cell walls are made of cellulose, but bacterial cell walls are not made of cellulose. 4. The nucleus contains genetic material which controls the activities of animal, plant and bacterial cells. That is false because nucleus does control the activities of the cell in the cells that they're in. So they're in animal and plant cells, but they are not in bacterial cells. Finally, the cytoplasm is where chemical reactions take place, and that is true. I hope you enjoyed the video.